Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Today, we're putting a remote starter into a 2013 Hyundai Tucson. We're going to be installing one of these HC series units from Idatalink. I've already gone and got half the wiring already started. So now, we're going to go through how to take the dash apart and get this wired up. And this customer won't have to worry about any cold mornings anymore. So, let's get some light going here. Just like that. You can see there's a little pocket right here. Just need a pick tool. Give it a quick little twist. And you got a Phillips head screw right there. And then you have one there and one here on the side, right next to the driver's door. And then there's a little locking tab on this one, and a couple little pulls here and there. That whole panel comes off. Set that off to the side. You do have your OBD plug at the bottom, with just two little snaps on the side, and then it just slides right in. You also have to take the steering column apart on this one, and you got a Phillips head screw right there, and there'll be two right behind the steering wheel. And because this is a push button start vehicle, don't have to worry about the steering wheel lock like you would if it wasn't. And you carefully separate the two halves, and that'll show you where the next two screws are. And once you get them out, just drop the steering column and away you go. Just like that. Now we're into where the wiring is, and we're going to get to that here in a second. You can see the main ignition harness right there, and we'll get to the rest of the wires. Okay, I've got a few things done here. I got the ignition harness opened up, and as you can see, there was already an attempt made, so we're gonna have to fight through that a little bit. We got a harness down here wrapped up in some Tessa tape so it'll look halfways just like the factory. So let's open up a roll of some tape here and see what we're in for. It feels like half a roll of tape later. See if we can get this wire out of here, unsoldered, and after a little bit of finessing with it, I was able to get that old piece of wire off. New one's on there, all soldered up. We'll put some tape on that and move on to the next wire. Hopefully they go smoother than that one did. That red wire is one of the two main power wires in the system. There's another red wire in here as well that's another 12-volt power. Which would be this other red wire right here. And because we're talking about it, let's hook that one up now. Normally I'd go a little lower on the harness, down in here somewheres, but because this already had an attempt made up higher, no point in cutting up the wires even more and making more connections. Brand new car, keep it as undamaged as possible. There's the two power wires. This yellow wire here, that is our accessory wire. Which is our orange wire. What kind of a fun job am I going to have on this one? There we go. That came out much better. There. Just like that. Like I said, this yellow wire is our accessory wire. Now, we have our blue-black wire here. This one is going to be our starter wire. Even though it's a push button, there's still a starter wire. On this vehicle, anyway. Okay, got this one all stripped up. Got the wires off of it. This one here, you'll notice there's two blue and black wires. This one here in pin number 4, that is the ignition wire. And pin number 3 up here, that's going to be the starter wire. If you're unsure, haul out your test meter and test it. Be real pain if you just guess and assume, and then next thing you know, you're going to program it and nothing's working. And you got to go back and start troubleshooting it. And then now, like I was saying, this other blue-black wire, that is our starter wire. Isn't much left of that wire. Yeah, saw that coming. Got most of the solder out. I saw one strand left. So we'll solder it back together. And now with this purple wire going to that blue-black, that'll be the starter wire, and that'll finish off the main harness for this vehicle. That yellow wire you see hanging there, that is going for our park lights. And that's going to be connected up next, because our park light wire is right in this harness. Should be a blue wire in the number 10 spot. So if we do that, right there, that's our number 10 spot, and that's our blue wire. That's not this park light wire in this vehicle is not a straight 12 or negative input. It is a mux input, which is computerized. Now you will see that I'm not tucking everything up out of the way, out of sight yet. I'm leaving everything somewhat accessible like it is until I actually finish, test it, make sure it works, and then I'm going to go back and button it up and hide all the wires. And that's our park light wire done. And you'll see that's able to be tucked in just like that. Out of the way nicely. Yeah. Now we're going to run our ground wire right along here to the OBD plug. And it'll be going to the number 4 pin in the plug. That's your CAN bus ground. And on newer vehicles, it's the better place to go rather than just finding a piece of metal on the side the frame somewheres. There we go. Picked up a new light yesterday for this, and now I gotta figure out how to mount it in places so it's gonna work best for me. Now it came out much better. There, that's our ground wire. Now we got to get to the two CAN bus wires, which is our brown and red, brown and yellow, and it needs to go back in behind the fuse box, back there. There's a brown and a white wire. You can kind of see them marked off already by some tape. That's a CAN high and CAN low. So let's get them hooked up. Alright, well, I just made a goof. I thought my camera was recording, and it wasn't. So, here's a recap of what I just did. You can see I've connected up the CAN bus wires up there. There is a white and a brown wire. There's two sets right next to each other. It'll be the ones that are closer to the middle of the terminal. And I just did the immobilizer wire down here. Kind of hard to really see. It's a white-orange wire tucked way up in there. It's pin number 20. And that needs to be cut. And then, based on your instructions, depends on how you hook it up. This one here, you have your white-red, which is the vehicle side. And then there's a gray-red coming off of it. And a white-black that are both linked together. So I've got it just connected further up the line. So there's just the one wire here to connect, which is the gray-red. And with that, we have no wires left. So, let's see if I've done things correctly here. Let's turn the key on. And there's that. Start the car. Turn the music down so I don't get any kind of copyright warnings. So I gotta put the phone down for a second just to hit the brakes, push the program button on the side, release the brakes, and wait for that light to do that. Perfect. That there tells me that everything just programmed. So let's see. Let's plug in our antenna wire. That way our remotes will work. And make the car think the door is shut just by closing the latch. But the door itself is still open, so we have door locks. And let's see if it starts. Just like that. Check the brakes. Shuts off. So now we're good to tuck it all away and make it look all nice and pretty. I'm not going to bore you with that one. So just stay tuned and I'll be right back. Okay, well, thanks for sticking around. I know it's only been a couple seconds thanks to the magic of video editing. As you can see, I've got a lot of it already tucked out of sight. Because if you remember, we had our park light wire running up here. We had our main ignition harness running in there. We have our immobilizer wires right in here. I've still got to go up and in behind and get everything mounted up there. That's going to be another break in the video. I just wanted to show you this right off the bat. So now I'm going to get down there and tuck the rest out of sight and let you see it. Alrighty. You don't see a remote starter, do you? That's because it is now tucked way up there. And as you can see, we've gone and made some wires look a little bit nicer along with the rest of it. So now we're ready to start putting things back together. Move a few things. I got the antenna wire left to connect, but that's just a plug-in piece. The main wiring, it's almost like there's nothing there. Alright, thanks for sticking through this whole video. It's one of the first ones I've done for a remote starter. I got the antenna tucked in behind that. So we're going to give it one final test to make sure everything works. There's the door locks. There's the unlock buttons. Let's see how that works. And we have fire. Now, we also got to test to make sure the brake shuts it down, which it does. And let's see what the 3X does, which is pushing the lock button on the factory remote 3 times. And it worked. So now we just open the door, put the key in the ignition, put the foot on the brake, and we have full takeover, ready to drive away. So if you like this video, click that subscribe button. We're just getting into our winter season here, and I'm going to have a lot more remote starters that I'm going to be videoing. So if you want to see more, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll keep posting. Till next time.